Say again, Antonio Viruet. Okay. Rhonda Latney and Tanya Pitt. Say again, Rhonda Latney and Tanya Pitt. Okay. Ira Springer. Say again, Ira Springer.
Maybe a short meeting.
Well, that 3 minutes might expand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joanna Leonardo. Say again, Joanna Leonardo. Now, I know this lovely young lady is here, Mabel Sharif, and I went to go see their program at Brookings. Mabel Sharif, Mabel, come on up. And I love that Vice Chair Chris Collins loves that summer spirit that you have shorts on there, too. He just gave him practice. Mabel, it's all yours.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can everybody hear me? The
Yeah.
mic is working?
Well, that's
That mic's
for,
only for
TV.
TV, so you got to kind of project a
So you
little.
can,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
thank you.
sorry.
We can hear you, though.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As the mayor said, my name is Mabel Sharif, and I'm here tonight with my grandson, Ahmad Hakeem Sharif, who is he's my grandson, but he's also the son of 2 Springfield police officers. I want to get that out of the way. So I'm here tonight, we're both here tonight to really give thanks to you, Mayor Sano, Superintendent Warwick, and Barbara Gresham for supporting us with the Old Hill Youth Sports and Mentoring Program that we're now holding at Brookings School, Ellis Brookings School, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which we'll be going there as soon as we leave here. And the reason we're thanking you because you approved, you supported us we're volunteering, and you supported us with being able to use the building, Brookings School. And right now, I'm proud to say we have 53 children registered. Our goal was 30. But word got around that we were there, and all these children live in Old Hill. Maybe a few that's not. So the Old Hill children are coming out, and what we're trying to do is teach the children the importance of exercising for health. It's a karate program and a mentoring program. And we're teaching them discipline through karate, and we have great parents' involvement. That's what kind of surprised me. The parents are really there with their children, and when we finish at 8:30, every parent has picked up their child. We've never had to wait to have children. So it's a wonderful group, and we plan to expand on Saturdays as soon as there's a janitor in the building. And so I would like for my grandson to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for having me. We have a legacy of developing the youth of the community, starting with my grandfather, who was in the military and learned martial arts, bringing it to Dunbar in 1969. My father, who continued this, teaching me as well, and giving back to the youth of Old Hill. Our program enables me to win competition up and down the East Coast in both martial arts and wrestling, putting me in a position of my dream of getting into the Naval Academy. With the help of the congressman, the mayor, and my mentors. Giving back to the community helps provide a positive path for the kids and gives them something to look up to as they move on in life.
Thank you.
Right. Did you have any questions for us?
We really don't interact
don't
public,
do
but I just have to say I did witness the program on a Saturday morning. It was
Thank
tremendous.
you for coming.
And the robotics coach and the parents that were there, so the Superintendent Warwick and to Ms. Gresham, wonderful, wonderful program. I know we don't, but I was there, and it was great. It was great. And good luck to you, too.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, school committee, for letting me indulge. It was a great program. Imani Hines, 8th grade teacher, Up Academy at Kennedy. Ms. Hines, love your hair.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Like I said, my name is Imani Hines. I'm an 8th grade teacher at Up Academy Kennedy, and I also taught at Kennedy last year. Springfield, born and raised, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
I'm just calling to speak out and to just thank you all for selecting Kennedy to be restarted by UP. I'm just going to tell like a quick story of like, I think summarizes some of the changes that I've seen since UP has taken over. Detention is probably my favorite part of the day. Kids may not agree with my sentiments, but it's probably my favorite part of the day.
For the viewing audience, can you say that again?
Yes, detention is my favorite part of the day.
Okay, of course.
And it's because it's not something we had at Kennedy last year. It is a time where if students make mistakes throughout the day, they come, they reflect, they get the opportunity to like engage with their actions and like make a different choice for the next day. And they come the next day, their actions are absolved, and it's a fresh start. In detention, the students come in, they have this like reflection work they have to do. They can answer questions as to like, why are you here today? What's your greatest accomplishment? What's something you're proud of? What's the worst day that you've ever had? And they answer that, and then like I get to read them because I run detention every day, so I get to read it. And one of my students last week wrote something that just like nearly brought me to tears. It was a long day. She was very angry because she was in detention, what middle schooler wouldn't be. But she still took the time to like complete this reflection. And it was on her greatest accomplishment. And I had read her essay on this before, but like this day last week on Tuesday, it was different. And as I was reading it, she was just saying, my greatest accomplishment this year is math class. I always thought that I would just never be good at math. I've been terrible at it. It's just not something that I'm good at. And math is hard. But this year, Ms. Hines pushes me to be better. And this is the first time ever that I've gotten a B in math. And like just seeing that, like having this student like in detention focus on the fact that like she was now this like scholar math student who like never done great in math before, I knew that conversation and like that self-awareness was only able to happen because she was in detention that day. She was willing, she knew I was gonna read it, and she shared it with me. And that relationship building would not have happened if UP had not come in and allowed me to be with her for 140 minutes every single day.
Nice.
And so I just wanna like thank you once again for allowing me the opportunity to touch each of my 500 students' lives. Because like they love it, I love it, and it's really going to make a difference in the long run in the city of Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. God bless you. That was great. That's a first. We love detention. Okay.
Yeah.
Heather Pura, and a parent at Up Academy, the Kennedy student, of a Kennedy student. Did I pronounce that right? Pura? Para, like a para, okay.
Yes, in Italy it means Perry. My husband's from Italy, so it's his last
Okay,
name.
so para.
Para.
Okay.
I was asked to come here to speak on behalf of UPS Academy Kennedy. And I wanted to say how amazing I think that this school is. The way they talk to the students there is different than, not to be offensive, but most of the Springfield schools, from what I've witnessed. They actually talk to the students. They teach the students. They have heart-to-hearts with the students. I just, like I was in the office yesterday and I witnessed a woman there that works there, and she was talking with women, a couple girls that had gotten in trouble, and she tried to get them to see the way the rules, why the rules are the way they are, and about their actions. And instead of, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
You're doing fine, Ms. Penn.
Instead of talking at them, she talked to them and tried to get through to them in a calm, really nice way about her. And I love the school. And my daughter has some anxiety issues that are pretty severe, and it causes her to need to leave school, the school. She can't eat in the lunchroom. certain things, and that school has done everything around my daughter to make sure my daughter feels safe and comfortable. And I don't think that my daughter would have gotten through this school year so far if they weren't so supportive. And I just wanted to let you know how amazing that I think the school is.
Thank you, Mr. Parent.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're joined by School Committee Woman Denise Hirsch now. Denise, thank you. I know you were on your way. Thank you. No? Sarah Lupian, parent at Up Academy, Kennedy student. Okay. Now I know the irrepressible one is here. Mr. Tim Collins, SCA President.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Tim.
First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. There's over 50 different holy and holidays that are celebrated this time of year, so whatever anybody celebrates, I hope you have a joyous one.
Same to you, Tim. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank the school committee for its support in the last election. You were an early group to sign on to voting no on question 2. And we had a lot of support in this community and communities across the Commonwealth, whether it was support from the AFL-CIO or Neighbor to Neighbor or Jobs with Justice or a number of organizations. And the victory was almost, with the exception of 3 communities and the 2 islands, unanimous. And I'm here to start that process all over again. As you know, 2 years ago, the legislature did a study on Chapter 70 and the funding of our public schools in the Commonwealth, and their own study says that we are shortchanging and have been shortchanging our schools to the tune of $1 billion a year. Pat Roach, our Chief Financial Officer, did an analysis of their recommendations, and if they were to simply implement their own recommendations, this school system would receive $25 million additional money every year. I think we've got to take advantage of the victory that we had in this election, and as soon as you meet in January and form your legislative and contract subcommittee, we need to start pressing every rep and senator in Western Massachusetts to support fully funding their own recommendations. In my mind, a legislature and a governor for the last 2 years who was aware of this short funding is committing educational malpractice, at least, and at worst, it's, in my mind, child abuse. We have children that need services that we simply can't provide as effectively as we could if we were appropriately funded. The foundation formula hasn't changed since 1993. And anybody who lives and works in Springfield knows community here and communities across this Commonwealth like Holyoke and Fall River and New Bedford, Lowell, Lawrence, have changed dramatically since 1993. The legislature and the governor have suddenly realized we have an opiate problem. But anybody who lives in one of the cities I just named, and many more of our gateway cities, have been dealing with that problem and the underground economy that supports that problem for decades, to the extent where, in far too many cases, it has ruined families and neighborhoods. And I am happy that they've come to the realization that it's a problem that needs addressing. But we need the support in our schools, especially for children who are suffering from that epidemic, be it their neighborhoods suffering or their family suffering. And we need the kind of money to support those kids. I've been at this in the city of Springfield for 43 years. These problems have been around for all 43 years, maybe not as intense and deep and widespread as they are today. But I have seen children facing these kind of challenges who end up surviving and thriving because in their school day, every day they have one or two caring adults who connect with them, who make them feel worthwhile, who give them the confidence that they can take on difficult tasks, and if they persist, they will succeed. You know, in the lingo of education, they call those soft skills. There's nothing soft at all about them. It's building those relationships with individual children that make the difference in their lives and gives them the strength to succeed academically. So I'm going to be reaching out to the contract and legislative and contract subcommittee, and I think we need to start early on. I think we have a good ally in Senate President Roosevelt. We may have a little bit more time trying to convince the Speaker of the House. However, if he looks across this Commonwealth at the results of that election, there is support for education. And the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts says that the state should cherish public education. Short funding our children to the tune of $1 billion a year is not cherishing public education. It's not giving the generation of children coming up what we were given when we came up. So it's up to us and our allies to get out there and fight for what's right and just for the children in our care. So thank you for your time. And I know you're voting on a couple of raises, or you have voted on one, you're going to vote on another, and just to let you know, I think we need to speed up our contract negotiations because that is creating a bit of angst among the people out there in the building. We sent our letter to start negotiations almost a year ago, and I know the superintendent and I are trying to work out some ways where we could speed up this process, but anything you can do to take a look at our proposals and take a look at your proposals and see if we can concentrate on some and get some benefits for the kids in their classrooms. And if we work hard together with school committees across the state, PTOs across the state, superintendent's group, I think we have a chance to change the funding deficit that we've been suffering from for at least the last 3 or 4 years. As I've gone through the budget process with the district, it seems like every time we come in, we're starting in the hole and finding ways to cut so we can, keep above board. And the fact is, I know every effort has been made to cut as far away from the classroom as we can, but what we need to do is add, not subtract. Our children deserve nothing less. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. We're joined by School Committeeman Attorney Peter Murphy. We'll go back one more time. Speak out Antonio Virouette. Say again, Antonio Virouette. Rhonda Latney, Titania Pitt, Ira Springer, Joanna Leonardo, and Sarah Lupian. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Leonardo. Ms. Leonardo, okay, I'm sorry, thank you.
I'm nervous, so sorry.
It's all right, take your time.
I'm here because my daughter is going to be 5 years old on September 7th, but the cutoff date for her to start kindergarten will be the 1st of September. And my daughter's been in preschool for the past 2 years, and she's very smart. I feel like it's unfair for her to wait a whole year just because her birthday is 6 days after the cutoff. My birthday is September 20th, and I started kindergarten when I was 5. And I feel it's unfair for her because if she was here right now, you would see how much she can excel. She already knows her colors, her numbers. She's basically ready for kindergarten. And just to make her wait a whole year just because of the cutoff date, I believe is unfair. I think it should be at least the end of September because kids are supposed to start kindergarten when they're 5. So why make her wait a whole school year just because her birthday is 6 days after September 1st? So I'm just hoping that can change because I'd rather her be in kindergarten and not wait a whole year. She's already been in preschool, like I said, for 2 years, and she knows a lot. She's very well educated, and if anything, they should have like a self-assessment test to see if she does qualify to go to kindergarten, just because I feel like it's unfair, like just to make her wait a whole year for her to start her education is kind of holding her back because she's already been in preschool for 2 years, so she's not going to learn anything if she's still in the same school. Like she's not progressing. I'd rather her succeed and not have to be held back just because her birthday is 6 days after the cutoff. Like I said, I was born September 20th, and they still let me start kindergarten, and I graduated at the age of 17 when you're supposed to graduate high school. So that's all I have to say.
You did a nice job, Selena. Maybe through the superintendent, we could have, with the Indulgence School Committee.
Grace period.
Well, thank you, Tim. Through the superintendent, maybe, I think the superintendent can maybe assign someone to speak to you tonight.
Lydia, if you could work with her, we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did a nice job, Selena. Thank you, Attorney Murphy. Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, Assistant Superintendent. We appreciate that. I think last one was Sarah Lupian. Okay, we've asked twice for the speakers who had signed up. Unfortunately, they're not here. That concludes public speak out. Thank you very much. We'll be in recess for about 5 minutes. Thank you very much for the regularly scheduled meeting at 6:30. Thanks. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Present.
Ms. Perez is on her way.
Present.
Thank you.
Present.
Yes. Please rise for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Before we move into the minutes, just another one of our students doing so well, Kiara Mickens. We know the Mickens family, and she's a Wendy's Scholarship Award winner for national finalists for athletics, academics, and community service. And she's just doing a great job. Can we have order in the room, please? Can we have order in the room, please?
They purposely changed the time.
Could I? Ma'am, public speak out is always at 6 p.m. Ma'am, can we have order in the room, please? Public speak out has always been at 6 p.m., ma'am. We're more than welcome. 6 p.m., ma'am. 6 p.m. You're entitled to your opinion, but not the facts. Merry Christmas to you. Order in the room. Thank you very much, ma'am. So back to Kiara Mickens. Tremendous from Central High School. One of the top 10 finalists for the Wendy's athletics, academics, and community service out of the whole country. Tremendous. And Kenneth, you'll be very happy. Sci-Tech Band has won another award on the Cultural Arts Humanities, the Massachusetts Cultural Council. They sent me notice that Sci-Tech has won for creative youth development on that. So just wanted to get that out. I know we'll do something subsequently through the superintendent, but this just came to me within the last day or so. So that's great news about our system and our children. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you for your indulgence. Now we'll move to approve the minutes of November 16th, 2016, the minutes of December 1st, 2016, the 29th, November 29th, those have been tabled currently. So again, we're only looking for November 16th, 2016, a special meeting, and special meeting December 1st, regular school committee meeting 2016. Any questions or comments? Motion by Mr. Roland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Items requiring the vote of the school committee. Approve a City of Springfield diploma for Khalil Al-Malana. Superintendent Warwick.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, there's an informational piece in your packet on this. This is a student who graduated from a private day school with an IEP and has met all the requirements, including the MCAS requirements. Yolanda's gone through everything, and I'm recommending approval of the diploma.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Collins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Roland. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, more than sufficient vote. Congratulations, Khalil. Thank you. B is to approve new Springfield Public Schools student technology take-home policy. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is something we talked about in a working session back in October, talking about how to implement our technology policy, but also try to extend the day through take-home policy and try it out with a pilot. And Paul Foster's here to take us through, give a brief description of what we're looking for. Pretty much what we talked about during that working session, to try to start out with a few pilot schools and using insurance as a way so we wouldn't have any significant loss with this. But the instructional time piece by taking these home would be a big advantage, I think, for the students and parents and the school system. But Paul, if you could give us a quick run through and then we'll open it up.
Stats?
Certainly. Thank you. And this was vetted through the technology subcommittee. Obviously, there's a lot of different points within the draft policy. I'll highlight some of the key areas, and obviously feel free to ask questions as they come up. But again, as the superintendent said, this does reflect a lot of the conversation we had at the working session, and I believe we also talked about piloting in 3 to 6 schools in the spring. So we want to make sure there's a policy in place. And I want to say up front, if, depending on the outcome of the pilot, we may want to come back to you for revisions to the policy, depending on how the pilot goes. But starting on page 1, just some of the key areas. This would be limited to grades 3 to 12. And within individual schools, they may want to limit it further. So, for example, if an elementary school wants to participate in the pilot, it might only be 5th graders. So we're not prescribing particular grade levels that have to do it. We're also trying to give a lot of flexibility to schools about when students take the devices home within the week. On page 2, just want to mention that item 8, we will ensure that the devices are filtered for content when they're at home. But we also keep in mind there are ways to get around filtering, and so we wanted to make sure we were clear with parents that they're still responsible for monitoring their kids' activity online when they're at home, even though the filtering will be there. We talked a lot at the working session about the idea of a take-home fee, and so what the draft policy you have in front of you tonight says would be $20 per student per year, non-refundable technology take-home fee, and that would entitle a student to take the device home for the year. And we would use that funding to cover the cost of insurance. So when there are cases of theft or loss, we would be able to cover that. Pages 3, 4, and 5 really are the agreement with the family and with the student. So page 3 would be a student take-home pledge, and it's just articulating a lot of what is mostly common sense things that we're asking students to be mindful of. Right? If we're going to take them home, we need to charge them at home. So when they come to school the next day, it's ready to use. Things like not, eating and drinking around the laptop. So, like I said, a lot of things that we just want to make sure our students know in terms of how to take care of the devices. And then page 4 and 5, one of the requirements in the policy will be that, and we'll start this out with our pilot, and we'll see how it goes, is that schools that are allowing students to take the laptops home will be required to have parents go through a quick orientation and so that's a requirement. Part of that orientation will be to run through this agreement, and parents will sign the agreement at that time. And so we want a signature from the student and a signature from the parent saying, yes, I've been to the orientation. I understand, what you're asking me to do in terms of taking care of this laptop. So I know that was the quick version, and happy to, if there's any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Foster? Denise? Ms. Hurst?
So is there an actual orientation at the school building?
Yeah.
And so do we have any provisions for when parent or a guardian can't go to the school? So for example, a child who might be in the custody of DCF, who doesn't have an actual parent or guardian.
Yes. So I think we didn't want to spell all that out of the policy, and that's part of the stuff we want to work out over the course of the pilot. So I think, we'll make sure that it's more than just a one-shot deal, like you have to come on this particular night. We'll make sure there's multiple opportunities. And I think some of what you're asking about are the things we need to use the pilot to work out. But we wanted to stipulate in the language that we want to make sure there's some communication. But I think through the pilot, we'll try to work out what that looks like and try to be as flexible as we can to make sure we can reach as many parents or guardians as possible.
And then is there any provisions with respect to the fee, if that's something that's not affordable to a family who might have multiple children?
Yeah, and at the working session, we talked about that possibility about do we do a per student, do we do a per family? I think initially we wanted to propose to you a per student fee because there's we're not sure we're ready, to be honest, to tackle the complexity of trying to account for a per family fee because I think we have a lot of different family structures in the city, and so identifying which students are part of a particular family and how we account for that. And so for the pilot, I think we wanted to just propose $20 per student, see how that goes, see what kind of feedback we get from families, how many families come to us and say, look, I can't afford that, and then kind of work through it on a case-by-case basis. And that's an area where we may come back to you with proposed revisions, depending on how the pilot goes.
Okay.
But that came up with Paul and his team that we may have to do that, so that's something we're going to have to seriously look into.
Okay.
Ms. Hurst?
Oh, I'm all set. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions? Ms. Gresham?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. So, Mr. Foster, is there any type of sticker or something to say that it's property of Springfield Public Schools, or?
Yes.
There
So
will
all of our devices are asset tagged in multiple places. So we have a tag in some places where it's obvious. We also have tags in some places where it's not obvious. So I won't say on camera where those places are. And we will, when a device is individually assigned to a student, we'll be scanning that device and then inputting that student's ID number, so we know that device belongs to that particular student.
Good, thank you.
Mr. Roland?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Paul and his team for working hard on this plan. I know they were all summer working on this plan, and I looked it over with Peter, and it's a great plan, and it's advantage for the kids that need extra help at the house, and it's a way of them, continuing their education at the home, where they don't have that laptop or that service that they don't have right now. So, thank you, Paul.
That's right up your alley, Mr. Roland. IT specialist for Bay State. Kenneth, I know you wanted to chime in from our site.
It's really funny.
School representative.
It's really funny because this is something I was actually trying to advocate for last year in my school.
Well, take credit for it, okay?
But my question to you was, how are you guys going to survey which schools are going to be a part of this pilot? As somebody from the School of Science and Technology, I'm always around my technology director in my school, and she basically shows me where all the technology is, so I know to help her. I kind of help her as like an intern there. Now, since there's a lot of technology at my school, would this be a workable pilot, or is there like some type of system that you're going for off of the schools that you have as your pilot?
It's a great question. Is that Ms. Cardona?
No, well, actually, Ms. Cardona and Ms. Griffin.
Okay, great. They're great.
Yeah.
So it's a great question, and I think we have not decided what schools are going to be part of the pilot. Mm-hmm. I think the feedback from the school committee at the working session was we want to try at least one at each level, so elementary, middle, and high, because we think that the experience is going to be different. But they're not pre-selected. I think what we're looking for in the schools that are going to pilot, certainly a willing partner. So the school needs to say, yes, this is something we want to do, and also they need to be having conversations internally about how our teachers kind of adjusting their instruction to make use of the fact that students can take the laptop home. So really that's what we're looking for, is a school that really feels ready and willing to take this on, and also where instructionally teachers are feeling like they're ready to give assignments and give work that actually relies on the technology, because otherwise we'll send them home and kids will be like, well, it's nice to have a laptop at home, but how is this helping me with school?
Thank you, Kenneth, any other questions or comments?
Just through our technology subcommittee, which
Very
Peter
briefly,
is-
just thank you very much, Paul, and your team, for working on this. You continue to keep us at the forefront of technology and implementing it in our schools and for our kids. And really, that's what it's all about, is so our kids get exposed to technology and, they'll be successful down the road. So really appreciate your work on this. And I know there's many other things that you're working on. So thank you very much. And this is a great plan. It came through the technology subcommittee. And we would certainly request that the school committee vote in favor of this policy.
Thank you, Attorney Murphy. And again, the Superintendent Warwick and his team, this is the first time this is ever being done in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to get our students their own computers to take home. So it's quite a testament. The superintendent and the staff, teachers, school committee on it, first and only district in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
And we really appreciate the support of the school committee on this, because this wasn't easy to do given the budget scenario we
Three-year
face.
plan.
So appreciative of the school committee support with this endeavor.
Thank
And
you,
it's,
Superintendent.
if I'm sorry,
Yeah, no, Attorney Murphy, go ahead.
but it's really a stroke of genius to use the $20 to pay for insurance so that we can replace a stolen or lost computer. I mean, that was really a great idea, and I think we're the only one in the state that's doing that, and it was really a stroke of genius.
And I know some of some other states that do something similar found that the computers were respected by the families and wasn't that many issues, so we're hopeful of that. But again, a first in the Commonwealth, and it's the Springfield Public School System doing it. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Attorney Murphy, second by Mr. Roland. Roll call, what is required? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, board's official vote, this matter passes. Thank you, Paul. Mr. Foster, a.k.a. Stats. C is to approve the new Springfield Public Schools website accessibility policy. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up Paul and Zell on this and just go through a brief description again. This also went through the technology subcommittee and has been approved. So, Zell?
Go ahead, Raspberry Beret. A big Prince fan.
Back in the beginning of the year, the Department of the Office of Civil Rights nationally took a blanket look at school websites and blanketly addressed the issue of website accessibility, school website accessibility. And so Springfield Public Schools was included in that, and we have been working with OCR to make sure that our website is accessible mostly to people with sight problems. And so we've been updating our website in accordance with OCR and what they recommended. Part of what they recommend is that to ensure that the website continues to be accessible to all who use it, is that we include a policy of website accessibility. And the policy includes using what the World Wide Web Consortium has developed as guidelines. So the policy says that we will adhere to the World Wide Web Consortium guidelines for accessibility. And there is also a software, a mechanism that the consortium recommends that you use in order to sort of survey your website to make sure that it is accessible. And so the policy that is before you says those two things, that we'll use those guidelines and that we'll adhere to the software that they have available, the programming that they have available to ensure that moving forward, our website remains accessible to people with disabilities.
Thank you, Azelle. Any questions or comments? Superintendent Warwick?
Yeah, I don't know if Peter Murphy wanted to speak to it. It came through our technology subcommittee.
No, it's mandated, I think, by the government,
right.
And we're happy to comply. And Azelle, your team did a great job, and I think we should pass this policy.
Thank you, Attorney Murphy. Mr. Roland?
I agree with Paul. I think it was well looked at, and they follow the guidelines, and it looked right.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gresham. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, board's official vote, this matter passes. Thank you, Azelle. D is to approve the issuance of a lease by the city to the library department. Superintendent Warwick.
Yeah, this has been through the subcommittee also, building the grounds, but the land next to the Dryden School, there's space there to the side that is school department land, but technically city land, and there's plenty of space there for the East Forest Park Library as proposed, and they needed the school committee to vote to allow that to occur. But the land really already belongs to the city, so the requirements are that the school committee would have to vote to approve. It's been through the school committee, plenty of space there. It's really never been fully utilized. It was an old baseball field off to the side there, so I think it makes a lot of sense. The East Forest Park Civic Association obviously will be thrilled if this occurs, and it'd be good for the neighborhood. It's been through our Building and Grounds subcommittee. Our legal team has looked at it. And I don't know if, Chris, you wanted to speak to it from Vice Chair subcommittee perspective.
Just that it would be approve the city issuing the lease.
Right.
Yes.
And we can attach there's an actual motion that has to be there. It's in your package. Rather than read it out, it's lengthy. And I would say that we should attach that to the minutes as the motion to approve.
Thank you, Vice Chair Collins. Any other questions or comments? I want to thank the school committee and administration. We're very appreciative on the city side. It's something we tried to pursue. It's been for many, many, many years, and our administration's been able to do that, and continues to strengthen quality of life issues in our neighborhoods. And God knows East Forest Park going through that tornado, and this will be well utilized with all the other projects we have going on there with a Dryden School and with the Pope Francis High School being built and the neighborhood there. So we're looking very forward. So I thank the school committee for moving on this technicality so we can move forward on it. Any other questions or comments?
I make a motion that we approve the city issuing a lease to the library as described in the printed motion.
Attachment.
Second.
Motion by Vice Chair Collins, second by Mr. Roland. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you very much. E is to approve the issuance of an easement by the city at the South End Middle School. Superintendent Warwick.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we've been down to view this site with our subcommittee. There's a garage behind the South End Middle School. As most of you know, that's the old Mount Carmel School that belonged to the parish. It's kind of unsightly. It's almost on our grounds. And the parish plans to take that down, and on that lot behind the school, they're going to put up a nice parish center that they kind of lost when we went into the school, even though we did give them a lot of rental on the facility, allow them to use the facility. But this is what the parish wants moving forward. All it requires for us is a small easement so folks can get through there. The garage coming down, it will be helpful and aesthetically pleasing, and it'll open up the land for the parish to use the way they'd like to use it behind the school. So there's no negative impact on the school. I think it's the right thing to do. It's been through our Building and Grounds subcommittee, and our legal team has looked at it. I don't know if Chris wanted to say.
Vice Chair Collins.
Yeah, the parish came forward with a representative. They're going to pay the total demolition cost for the garage, and we've been storing our snowmobile, snow blower. Hopefully, we don't need it. In gasoline because we can't put them in school buildings anymore. So the parish is actually going to provide a shed for us to store it in. So it's a win all the way around. And it's this tiniest little triangle of land that will end up underneath their driveway just to let them access their own property.
So an easement is like a walkway or?
It's a driveway.
A driveway.
And but it is this little teeny triangle of land that the driveway is going to be over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Collins. Thank you, Mr.
I think
Gresham.
it's good for the parish, and there's no negative impact at all for us. In fact, the lot's going to look a lot better for us when this old garage comes down. And again, that's at their expense. And they've been great neighbors. The pastor down there and the team has just been great neighbors for us. So this is, I think, the right thing to do. So I'm recommending approval.
Any other questions or comments?
Mayor, so move. So move.
I want to thank the school committee. This is my parish. Father White Mount Carmel, they're very elated. You're in their thoughts and prayers. They're going to light candles for you too and everything.
We could use all the help we
Right.
can.
We really appreciate it, and they always revel when I'm down at Mass. The relationship between Southend Middle School, our Springfield Public School system, and the parish has been great when we've had to utilize the other areas for events, and now we're building our own community center. So not only as chair, but personally, Father, we all appreciate it, the parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So thank you very much, John. Bless you, fellows.
Thank you.
Philip, is there a motion on the floor?
Motion, so moved.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
motion by Mr. Rolando, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, more than sufficient vote, this matter passes. Thank you very much. F is to approve superintendent recommended raise for Assistant Superintendent Lydia E. Martinez for 2016-2017. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I've completed Lydia's, our Assistant Superintendent's evaluation and looked at our goals, and I'm recommending a 4% increment in her salary. There's an informational circular in your package on it as we move forward, so this will be for this school year, retroactive to July 1.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Any questions or comments? Say again, any questions or comments? Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
So
Motion by Ms. Hurst, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Roland. Roll call vote is required. Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
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 Abstain.
Yes.
Yes, more than sufficient vote, this matter passes. Congratulations, and thank you for your continued dedication and hard work, Assistant Superintendent Martinez. We appreciate that. Okay, some more good news. Informational discussion items. I think Sumner Avenue School is in the house, if I'm correct. And we're going to recognize Sumner Avenue School for moving from level 3 accountability status to level 1 accountability, numero uno, and we're just so proud of the administration, the staff, the teachers, the parents, and the students there. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Superintendent Warwick.
The leveled accountability status in Massachusetts is the most rigid in the country, and to move from a urban school from a level 3 jumping to all the way to 1 is an incredible accomplishment. It's calculated on 4 years of progress, so not just 1 year of progress. It's calculated on 4 years of progress. And Jim McCann, since taking over at Sumner, has just done an incredible job with his staff that's so well represented here today.
Come on up.
Come on, you're all part of it.
Come on up. Great tie, by the way, too, Principal.
Wow, yeah, thanks. Really good tie.
Come on up, Sumner Avenue. In the house. You're in the house. Another beret. Where's Giselle?
Sumner Avenue has just increased every year in all of the measures we use, and done an incredible job. So congratulations to Jim, the teaching staff. This is a real reflection of your great work and dedicated work at Sumner Avenue, and a real credit to you. Outstanding job in every way. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for your great work. Thank you.
Before you open up, I'm sure there'll be some comments and from our school committee people. If you'd like to make some comments before we turn it over to the... Ms. Hurst?
Sure, I'll go first. I would just like to echo the superintendent's comments. I mean, you guys have done a fantastic job. It's so exciting to move from level 3 to level 1, especially when it feels like all the odds are stacked against you and all the rhetoric out there is so negative. So, way to show them wrong. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Roland?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. To see that we're not waiting for level 4 and seeing level 3s and 2 go to 1, it makes me happy, because it shows that our teachers, our principals, and our staff are working hard to stay at top level education in Springfield, and that's what we're looking for, right? So to see that we're not waiting to do a level 4 or get to a level 4 to get to level 1, it makes me happy. And I'm proud of your school, and thank you for the great job that you guys are doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Vice Chair Collins?
Yeah, to say that our teachers, and I've said it before, are second to none in this state is probably not strong enough. The other teachers who aren't in the kind of urban setting with students who have the kind of challenges to progress that unfortunately our students have to live with due to our high poverty rates. To educate those students with this amount of success means that you're not just as good, you're better than the students, than the teachers in the rest of the state. And Springfield's got some of the best teachers that there are. All of it's up to you, principal too, but all of it's up to you professionals in that building for doing this work.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I must say, I still have your red T-shirt from a couple years ago. I wear it proudly.
Koala bears.
And, that's right, that's right. And though at times it's difficult in urban settings to teach, it's not impossible. And you and your staff and the teachers and families and students are doing it. And as Superintendent Warwick alluded to make this type of jump, it's just not a one-shot deal. You've done this progressively for a number of years, and I think that's quite a testament with all the challenges that some of our student body comes in with. But they're hungry to learn, and you're really getting that out of them. So we really want to be sure that we recognize you and commend you, each and every one of your team. And I think it's just a great testament. I believe in the last 3 to 4 or 5 years, we've gone from just one level
school to 9.
To 9 and 15 or 16 total that are 1 to 2. So just quite a testament, and don't envy what you do, but respect what you do, and we're hopeful we'll continue to move forward and on the contract issues to be responsible and fair and on both sides on it. So if there's no other questions or comments, the floor is yours with that great-looking tie, and we're just so proud of you, and we want to congratulate you.
Well, I just want to thank the school committee for having me tonight. It's really an honor just to be here to represent Sumner Avenue School and the faculty's hard work at Sumner. I'd like to start out, I just want to introduce some of my leadership team that's here. I have Nancy Giard here, our ELA instructional leader, math leader, leadership teacher, Katie Bevan. Mickey Neely's a writing and math teacher, and Marguerite Foster Franklin, our kindergarten teacher. They've really helped propel us in the right direction. But most of all, I really want to recognize the hardworking staff that I have the privilege to come to work with each and every day. Without them, we wouldn't have made this progress. When you come into Sumner Avenue School, you'll see really well-structured, engaging lessons and teachers who really want to be there, and I think the students really pick up on that as well. And I think our key to our success, too, is we really have gotten into looking at data and really being strategic with our intervention groups, really working with students who are struggling. And we saw those gains last year, especially with our ELL students and our special ed students as well. And on the other end of the spectrum, too, the teachers create a lot of enrichment activities to meet the needs of the students who are proficient and exemplary. And I think, and that says a lot about what the challenges are. You have to work with the struggling learners too, but also challenge the students who need that extra challenge as well. And I think one of the things that we really emphasize too is the social component at Sumner Avenue School. The teachers just don't present the academics, they go beyond the classroom as well. We have an intramural basketball program that has a homework component that our teachers participate in and coach, and the students play against different teams. We have a wonderful chorus led by Paul Kaplan. We have an after-school reading club where students get together and have book chats. We have a science club where students do amazing experiments. For example, a rocket launch at Forest Park in the spring. And also before and after school tutoring. And you just see that. You see a dedicated group of professionals, and they're the ones that really were the reason that we moved from level 3 to level 1. So once again, I'd just like to thank you for having us here, and we're going to keep up the good work. Also, I don't know if I introduced this as Jose Escorbano, my assistant principal. He and I make a great team together. His background in social services and counseling and my educational background have really made us a dynamic duo. We say we like to come to work each and every day, although it's challenging. We have a lot of fun, and we're happy to represent and lead the wonderful staff at Sumner Avenue School. Thank you.
Congratulations. We have Springfield Public Schools, the Springfield School Committee, December 15, 2016, recognizes Sumner Avenue school leaders, teachers, staff, students. Through their hard work and dedication, Sumner Avenue School has moved from level 3 accountability status to a level 1 performing school, signed by myself, Mayor Dominic Sarno, Superintendent Warwick, and school committee members. We'd love to be able to give you, all of you come down and have the honor of shaking your hands and congratulating you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Jim, great work. So proud of you.
Great job. Congratulations. Batman and Robin.
Thank you.
Batman and Robin.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
I didn't even recognize you back there. Thank you for all your help.
I was wondering too.
Thank you.
Good job, man. Appreciate that.
Congratulations. Great work. So proud of you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, geez, you okay? Oh, I'm unplugged? I think a lot of people would like to unplug me, I'll tell you that.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job. Thank you very much. Good job. Congratulations.
Okay.
Good job.
It's been a long week. That's great.
Happy holidays, folks. Thanks again.
Sumner Ave in the house, once again. Okay, now we'll go to reports of standing committees. A is student relation, parent concerns.
No.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. B is Building and Maintenance Committee.
We handled both of the issues, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Chair Collins. C is Legislative and Contracts Committee.
No report, man.
Thank you, Mr. Rolland. D is Curriculum and Programs Committee.
No report at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. E is Budget and Finance Committee.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Vice Chair Collins. F is Vocational Education Committee.
That's
Ms. Perez, unfortunately, she was unable to attend. I know she was trying to get down here. Technology Committee.
Mayor, we had the two matters on, and we're going to have some more things coming up. And Paul's doing a great job keeping us at the forefront of technology. And we got Norm Roldan back on the technology subcommittee.
Mr. IT himself.
Really driving us in a
Bay
new
State
direction.
Medical Center, Mr. IT.
Looking forward to the future.
Attorney Murphy has a pretty dynamic committee there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Attorney Murphy. H is School Safety Committee.
No report, Mr.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Ms. Gresham. We'll now move to the report of Superintendent. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The attendance piece is in your packet, and as you can see, we're a little off last year, which is our best year ever at this juncture on the both attendance and the truancy, but we're going to drill down on that and see if we can move it forward. You'll have a circular from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education showing that on the NAEP science exam, which is the national test, the NAEP is the National Assessment of Educational Progress, called the nation's report card, how our kids tied for second nationally on science. So you can see in Massachusetts for the last 3 or 4 years, the science scores on the very challenging MCAS test have been flat. They haven't been flat on the NAEP. We're right at the top of the country. And on the PISA, the international test in math and science, we're in the top 5 in the world, where most of the states in our country is not. So we've made tremendous progress in science. It's not reflected on our own MCAS test, but it is in the national test, as in the other areas too, but more stark in science. So this is really good news. Really good news for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and for Springfield.
just a question, Mr. Superintendent. Didn't I see that we were second only to Singapore?
In the international test.
In the international test.
Yes, right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, second only to Singapore. So
may I have a question? So why is it that our state is a state requirement so harsh that we don't rank?
The state test is extremely rigorous. So typically our kids will do a lot better on a national test than they will on our state test because the test is so rigorous. And they have been flat across the Commonwealth for the last 2 or 3 years. So when I saw this in the international test, incredible.
Good.
How well they do. And my last item is there's a contract report in your package for you to review, and if you have any questions, please contact me.
Now, we do know that Attorney Peter Murphy said he's willing to go to Singapore to see what we can...
Why are their scores so high? That is,
Any questions or comments pertaining to Superintendent Warwick's report? Okay, hearing none, thank you. Unfinished business? Okay, hearing none. New business? Is there a motion on the floor to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rowan, is there a second? Is there a
Second.
Good evening, thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, a joyous holiday season, and we will see you in the new year. God bless. Thanks.